All right, time for week 5. We are almost there. It's the home stretch. So we got a pretty good week. So it's Talib's aphorism, first off. So be civilized on the day. You will be civilized on the day you can spend a long period doing nothing, learning nothing, and improving nothing without feeling the slightest amount of guilt. How about that one? I can't wait to hear what you guys think about that. So then it's the virtual classroom with Townsend, and then it's reviewing chapter 12. So chapter 12 is just going over the middle stage of group. So we call this the working stage in other terms. So it's just being more direct and intentional about working through specific issues. So they give you some pretty laid out examples of working through things. So it's more authority, more higher level working through things. So the group should be gelling in at a safe place. And then you are on to learning activity 2, which is reading chapter 13 in Jacobs. And then that's the homework partner call, competence plan update. So when you're reading through this, here's what I would do as I'm reading through this. So they give you every theory except for psychodynamics. So that's what the Townsend model is. It's a psychodynamic model. As you're reading through, pick out what type of group or what type of theory would be good to use with what type of character pathology. So for example, CBT, REBT would be great for someone who has melancholic depression, where it's more of a masochistic depression and you want to attack their superego. Because it'll help them lay out a format for attacking this superego. So it's working more with thoughts. And then reality therapy would be great for somebody that's in the justice system or somebody who's antisocial, true antisocial. So there is a book by Reed Malloy that is using Otto Kernberg's structured interview with people who have antisocial personalities. So you definitely want to assess them before you let them into group, but also assess them for what to go after to help them with that. So reality therapy is great for that. It brings them down to real life, and then they can begin to see that they have emotions outside of the situations of manipulating people. So that's the ultimate goal with antisocial. So reality therapy is good for that. Adlerian therapy is great for learning awareness and getting insight into why we do things. So what drives us. So especially for people with attachment. So attachment and then boundaries. Learning what the drives are behind doing X, Y, and Z. And then transactional analysis is great for adulthood because it talks all about one up, one down. Gestalt therapy, I think, is great for everything, but it's excellent for people who can't get in contact with emotion, so more OC personality. It will allow them to stay with their own process enough to feel their feelings that they're having. So integration problems would be great for that too. Then it overviews other approaches, and then motivational interviewing, which is great for teens that have just kind of thought disorders, more or less, where they're just kind of really not connecting the dots, and so you help them hold one area with the other to get some movement. So how do you hold together that I can use pot and I want to have a long career in law enforcement? You can't hold those two together, so it helps them to build in some dissonance on the inside. Okay, so then we go to learning activity 3, which is introducing, conducting, and processing exercises. So they talk about all the different exercises you can do. My suggestion is read through that, but use your own creativity and the group's creativity to create exercises. You guys are coming up with great ones in your papers. I think you can trust the group that they can come up with their own creative way of exploring issues and getting deeper into it. So here's some themes for different experientials to do. So it can be projective work, so using an empty chair. It can be two-chair work, where it's two parts of the self. It can be directed behaviors. So therapist directs and coaches the client to extend some identified thematic behavior, so exaggerating, stuff like that. Then it's past events, dream work, metaphor work, story work, aggression work, but you gotta be careful that you don't get too aggressive. And then homework. So I think those are all different experientials that you can do. And so setting them up, I think you guys are getting the hang of that really well. Then, so learning activity 4, you'll notice it doesn't have as much direction as the last 5 learning activity 4s, or last 4, I guess. So it will be just that you redo one of your activities. So from what you read in learning activity 3, you'll summarize the essence of the purpose and usefulness of exercises with specific application to your population for whom you are writing your Big Elephant project. So choose at least 2 exercises that you will use. So you can create your own on this. And so it's basically pulling back up your outline and then going into detail on 2 exercises. And you write a paper. It says write a paper that includes the following: summarize how the exercises can enhance your group experience, outline the 2 exercises. So basically you're just putting that into the paper and just expanding on the 2 exercises that you're going to use. And you'll just put a little blurb at the bottom for why they'll be helpful in the specific group that you'll be learning. So don't write me an extra paper, just use the outline that you already have. So, all right, so I'm really looking forward to, oh, by the way, you did a wonderful job on your role plays. I was dying laughing at some of them. You guys are funny. You really got into character, and I think that is, you guys are going to grow exponentially as you get into character for each other. So very creative, very well done. Good job, guys.